Michael formed like a supergroup around him. It's very in fashion today to have so many good musicians around to tour with them. Do you feel like a supergroup now?
We're musicians who play with a lot of people, and usually there are friends in some capacity, but I don't know, a supergroup just leads me to think of something else, and it doesn't feel like that. We've gotten together to play Michael's music live, whether it's music with Neu, Harmonia, or from his solo records. So it feels very centered on presenting Michael Rother's music.
Yeah, Michael just told me that he heard about that his music, or Neu music, was a big inspiration to many bands outside of Germany, like Sonic Youth. So how did you perceive Neu music outside of Germany, in the US?
Well, we loved it. It was very mysterious to us because it was from the early 70s. It was from before punk rock, but it spoke to us in the post-punk world in the early 80s and mid-80s. So it seemed like it was music out of time. Like there wasn't that much else like it from the 70s. At least at that time we thought that, and we just really loved it. We felt a kinship to it immediately. It felt like something that you want to do with your own music. So I think the Neu influence came into a lot of American and then other indie rock bands around the world.
And we also talked about the differences Klaus Dinger and Michael Rother had, and it was also like a source for creation and creativity. Do you also feel in between the band Hallogallo 2010 or 2010 some kind of differences that are inspiring you, that are motivate you to go more creative?
I think we're going to start arguing today.
Well, every group has differences, and sometimes they're bigger than other times. It seems from learning the Neu story that Michael and Klaus were very, very different people. But I don't know. Also, when you have a little experience, when you've been doing it for a while, I think you learn how to get along with people, and that's a part of being in a group. And so I think in this group there's not a personality that's as single-minded as maybe Klaus was, so I don't feel those differences. Okay. But I know what he means, that they sometimes can help creativity, but sometimes they can take away in the fun factor of being in a group.
How different is the music you will play on stage tomorrow? What's the difference if you would compare it to the things you hear on the album?
I'll talk for Steve. I think Steve is a more solid, is more technically a more technical drummer in a certain way, and on the Neu records there's some imperfections which have their own beauty, but I think that Steve is just more powerful, and so I think it's fun to hear more powerful versions.
The idea is not to replay the original songs. I will introduce some elements, some tunes, some tunes you will recognize, but the idea is just to take the basic idea and then to move forward. It would be boring to just replay old songs note by note, and that's definitely what we're not going to do.
My last question is, because we're here at the Dockville Festival. Dockville is not only music, it's also art, and this year's topic is recreation, and all those sculptures are made out of material that was used before, like recycled. If you would be a sculptor, out of which material would you be, and why?
Oh, jeez.
I'm very literal. We're made out of what used to be stars. That's really the truth. So
I would prefer to be out of water, made out of water. I love water.
I guess I was made out of chocolate wrappers. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Dankeschön
Thank you very much.
for your time. Das war die Roxy mit Hallogallo 2010. Bis dann. Tschüss.